Hey everyone, I'm Cara Suboy, CNET.com, joined by senior writer Daniel Turneman. And just a few months ago, Daniel wrote a fascinating story about this kid who was squatting, yes, squatting at AOL. Let's start from the beginning, Daniel. How did you find out about this kid?
I was in a meeting with a VC down in Silicon Valley, and the CEO that the VC was meeting with knew the kid and had put him up as for an internship at the VC firm, and he just was like, hey, do you remember that kid that I told you about who was living at AOL? And then they went on in their conversation, and I was like, hey, that sounds interesting. And so I contacted the CEO after that meeting and was like, hey, do you think you'd be willing to introduce me to the kid? And I didn't really think it would go far because it seemed like something that they wouldn't want to talk about.
Sure.
But the kid was actually kind of trying to raise money, and he was interested in publicity, so he talked to me and told me his story, and it was, it was a lot of fun.
Now, briefly, give us his story. How many months was he living at AOL? And
I believe it was 2 months that he was there, and this was in AOL's Palo Alto headquarters, or not headquarters, but their offices in Palo Alto, and he had been part of an incubator that was in the building, so he had basically a badge that let him in and out of the building, and
sure.
He just decided it would be sort of like a personal challenge to stay there and get by on as little money as he could, and so he found some couches that he could hide on at night. So he'd basically work all day. He was really doing real work building his company, and he'd just work these long hours, and then when everybody else would leave the building, he'd go to his couch and spend the night, and he was eating the food in their kitchens and
showering at the gym, I think I read. And
yeah, he kept his stuff in the lockers in the gym, and so, I mean, he got away with it for a couple of months until finally they caught him.
That's pretty incredible. And when we say kid, he's really, what, in his 20s?
I think he was 19 or 20 when it happened.
And what's he doing now? I mean, he obviously was found out, so he's no longer able to squat there.
Yeah, I mean, he was trying to build this startup in the education business, and I think he raised a little bit of money, enough money to go get an actual house to live in. And so, last time I talked to him, he was trying to raise maybe like $500,000 to, keep the business going. And that hasn't happened yet, as far as I know. But he's an entrepreneur with moxie. So he's, I think a lot of people were, watching him and seeing what he was up to.
Absolutely. That kind of tenacity's got to be rewarded at some point.
Definitely.
Fascinating. Well, we look forward to the update when you hear more from Eric.
Great. Thank you.
Senior writer Daniel Turneman. I'm Cara Suboy, CNET.com. Thanks for watching.